This episode of Blacktop Banter is brought to you by Crafco, the world's leading manufacturer of packaged pavement preservation materials and equipment for the asphalt industry. Learn more at crafco.com. All right, so it's probably, I'm guessing this is going to air right when the leaves are starting to turn a little bit of chill in the air. We may still be crack sealing and asphalt patching a little bit at Wiscote here in Wisconsin, but I can see the calendar here at Blacktop Banter, right? And now we plan 6, 8 months ahead, 10 months, 12 months sometimes. And there has been one thing that's on there that I'm very excited about. And if you've been following us at all over the last couple months, you've probably noticed it too as well. And that is our partnership with BuildWitt for Dirt World Summit that's coming up. In that process, I have made a friend in Jason Richmond. We try to cover business when we speak, but we end up talking about a lot of other stuff. So I thought it'd be only fitting that he comes on here, talks to us a little bit about himself. I really like your energy, Jason. I like your perspective on things. I love the people of the asphalt industry. You are a people person yourself, and that's what makes things click. We've come to find out. I really love what people put. I keep expressing my love for LinkedIn, right? At first, I was like, man, this is not for me. I got that like hustler, grinder kind of like, mentality, which sometimes is a fault, I would think. But since then, LinkedIn has made some great partnerships and great connections for us. And I love what people put in their profiles there. They can put whatever they want to put. And it always ends up being some unique phrases that are in there. So if you go to Jason Richmond on LinkedIn, you will see servant leader, connector, growth mindset. Most of the time you see CEO of the School of Hard Knocks or some stuff like that, right? Not in Jason's, but you see that there sometimes. So I'll let you give yourself a proper introduction, my friend, with your title at BuildWitt, and then tell us a little bit about yourself to let the asphalt industry audience know about Jason Richmond.
Yeah, 100%. Marvin, it's an honor and a privilege to be here. Absolutely love what you're doing. Love the relationship that we formed both online and, over the phone, video calls, emails, exchanges. It's a real honor to be here on Blacktop Banter. Thanks for calling out my LinkedIn profile, specifically, servant leadership, connector, and growth mindset. 3 things that we can dig into a little bit more, but definitely, it definitely is who I am as a person and what my geniuses are, my working geniuses, things that I believe in, things that I love and really enjoy. But just to get straight to it, my role at BuildWitt is I am the chief. I just forgot my job.
I like it.
Chief Operations Officer. Oh my gosh. I'm literally looking at this Swiss Army knife that I just was given.
Yep.
This morning.
Be careful putting that in your pocket, man.
Exactly.
You got every blade out on that thing.
I started thinking about my role and responsibilities and my mind went across the board. It's like, well, am I in sales today? Am I in operations today? Am I working on cash flow?
Yep.
Like what's going on? So I went to tell you what I was doing and was thinking Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's essentially when you're building what you're trying to build, that's what you have to be. Right?
100%. Totally.
Right. So that's kind of what makes you unique. And I knew it would be a great conversation for us to have is the fact that at BuildWitt, everybody gets a cool helmet, but man, you wear a lot of different hats there too. Right. So, We enjoy the challenge of what we do here at Blacktop Banter, right? It started out as a podcast, me talking about my friends, but now we do marketing, we do event promotion, we help with events, we host events, we do all these things to try to build a better community, make it fun, make it interesting, and make it a better place for all of us to work and for people to want to be interested in to come and work in the asphalt industry too as well. I can't just be a podcast host and do that, and I can't just be a seal coater and do that, right? I need to have different hats and put them on when the situations and moments arise. And that's really what you have, I'm guessing, got hired for over there, is the fact that you're good at that.
Yeah, 100%. I've served in the industry for a long time, and how I came to BuildWitt was I was interested in hiring them to help tell our story. From a marketing perspective, there was a huge opportunity to really position our organization, my former place of employment, as the employer of choice, and really was thinking about how can we tell that story better to connect with our existing team members, but also recruit the next generation into the organization. And so went through a process with them. And, when it all came down to it, I ended up falling in love with BuildWitt's mission of making the dirt world a better place. And, Dan and Aaron were two great guys that I got to know well, and they were telling me where they were at and where they were going, and said, hey, we've got a huge opportunity for you to come join us and, help us fulfill that mission. And I'll be honest, I'd never thought about leaving. I started on a shovel, grew my way up within the organization. I was, at a 75-year-old company, material supply and construction, safe. Things were good. Never thought about leaving. And then, decided to make the leap about 20 months ago.
Was that a hard transition? Was it, here's the thing. First of all, it being expressed what they're doing at BuildWitt and what they want to do is pretty much telling somebody, here's this amazing challenge that no one has ever done before. Leave that place of comfort and come help us try to do this thing that we see as a giant challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So all kidding aside, spent a couple of months on my knees praying to the good Lord, hey, is this the right thing to do?
Yeah.
But I can honestly say, I give a lot of credit to my wife, Carrie, because the first time I revealed it to her and said, hey, I've got this unique opportunity and here's what I'm thinking. And she just had tears coming down her eyes. And I was like, why are you crying? This is a unique opportunity. She's like, I'm happy. I'm happy for you. I've seen you work on strategies and then get people excited, and then it takes forever to get them implemented. And she's like, you get excited and then you get let down. You get excited and you get let down. And she was like, you've got an opportunity to go change an industry and do things and lead in a big way. She was like, this is perfect for you. You should definitely give it a shot. And so, I've studied entrepreneurship and business strategy. I've read a ton of books. I got my MBA, school hard knocks growing up in the industry. And it was finally a chance for me to just go and do it. It's one thing to think about it. It's one thing to study. Yeah. It's another to actually grind it out and go do it. And I thought, man, I've got, young kids that I want to come into this industry. I've got now a daughter 14 and a son 12, and we watch the Aaron Witt's YouTube vlog, and we talk about the dirt world, and we take pictures, of equipment when we're driving by projects, and they talk the dirt world language because it's what I love. It's what we believe in. And, this industry is such a big industry that these kids can come into it and start in the field or start in the office. And there's so many different career paths that, to me, I'm excited to be shining a light on this industry, just like you are at Blacktop Banter, because it's such a magical place where people can develop such an incredible career, make a good living, raise a family, chase the all-American dream. But yeah, it was a hard transition, and I'm still working through it, to be honest with you. We're building a business, and it's fun, but you got to enjoy the journey. Right now, if you don't enjoy the journey and the grind, if you're waiting on, well, when we get to this point, it's going to be great. Or when we get to this point, it's going to be great. It's you better enjoy every day, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah. We're finding that, Chris, who's over on, the P's and Q's over there, helping me look good and sound good as always. This is a conversation we recently had, right? Where, yes, we run a business now. Blacktop Banter is a business. But I don't want it to get so caught up in that we're not passionate about what we do anymore, right? That's a tough thing. This started as a passion project. It's fun because we're passionate about it, right? If it gets to where we're not passionate about it, it's not going to be fun anymore. And then that bleeds through with everything. So we work on that, man. That's a mindset that you have to keep and go and follow. I want to ask you about that a little bit. You seem like a very passionate man, I would say, as far as business goes. I don't know about the other side of passion, but the job you had before versus what you're doing now, it sure does feel like you are following your passion doing this, right? And I'm guessing that's why your wife had tears coming down her eyes and whatnot as well. Does that create a fuel to make you figure this challenge out, to build it and make it happen?
Yeah, 100%. And if I could, I'll back up and just let you know I'm a fourth generation road builder. So when the Indianapolis 500 went from bricks to asphalt, my great grandfather, John Fowler, paved the track for the Grady brothers. I got my start in construction working for my dad.
Yep.
I joined his grade crew, spent 3 years on a grade crew, 4 years on an asphalt paving crew. I was an estimator project manager for 5 years. I was a business development manager for 5 years. And then I was a director of marketing and business development for a really large material supply and construction company. And so being a fourth generation person, my dad's in the business, my brother's in the business. I love it. And I'll never forget where I came from, where I started. I mean, starting out on a shovel, it was some really hard days and I knew nothing. And I'm still learning.
Yeah.
But the passion comes from, just my history, my family upbringing. It's a beautiful industry with beautiful people building products, tangible things, roads and bridges and infrastructure that people utilize every single day.
Yeah.
And I want to shine a light on the people because I never want to forget where I came from.
Yeah. I say it, fairly often. Asphalt connects us all. Right. And people think about that in the physical, but also metaphorically, it connects us all. Right. I mean, the fact that I did what I did and grew up doing what I do and own an asphalt business, and yet you as well did. I know that you and I both probably enjoy the smell of hot mix asphalt. Right. When other people are like,
100%.
oh, right. To us, we're like, oh, that's home. Right.
Yeah.
Because it's like to me, it's like when you walk into grandma's house, right? And she's making the same cookies that she always made, and you smell it and it triggers something in your brain emotionally. That's what asphalt does. Like that smell of asphalt does that. It gets me excited, right? When I walk into conferences and expos and see all the equipment, I know that there's people there who think like me, act like me. They have the same challenges I go through. More than likely, they have a wife and kids and family issues and whatnot, and we all are connected by asphalt, right? But that starts, like you said, on a grade crew. It starts with aggregate, right? It starts with heavy equipment. It starts with mining, all the way up until the finish line when the guys are putting paint lines down, and we have a guy flying a drone over it to make sure everything's going good. So we're all in this, connected in this huge world, all together, where every single person plays an important role in getting us there.
Yeah.
Now you get to bring that all together, right, with Dirt World and BuildWitt, the same way that we try to bring it all together here at Blacktop Banner and keep everybody connected and going. The part that you spoke about, you have a 12-year-old. I have a 12-year-old. My 12-year-old can probably paint lines on parking lots just as good as I can. Right. I don't know if I wouldn't have made it cool, or if he didn't know friends like we know, Captain Striper, Charles Baker, all these legendary line stripers that make cool videos and make stuff pop, if he would think it was that cool, or if he would have went that route. Right. If he would have heard, whoever it is, 65 years old, that was line striper forever, and being like, oh, it was terrible. My back hurt. And I went all across the parking lot and I was up all hours of the night, or do whatever. I don't know that he would have taken it that way. But
yeah,
you have this great passion project now that you get to be part of and build, where we make it cool. Right?
Yeah. 100%.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, just a couple of things I want to touch on real quick before we jump right to that. You talk about the smell of asphalt, and just a saying that's always been out there. You've heard it before a million times, but I can't wait till we have a T-shirt that says "smells like money."
Instead of smells like asphalt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like smells like money. That from the crew, every time we say, "Oh, here it comes," it smells like money. It's like super amazing. I want to talk for a minute about paint lines too. Being coming from that industry or whatnot, a great paint job can really make a job look great.
Yeah,
but a
Ken.
bad paint job can really screw up a great paving job in a
Buddy,
second.
You ain't joking. You ain't joking. And the guys that make the perfect seams, and then there's the guys below by with terrible hash marks, and they've overshot, or they look down and it looks like piano keys where somebody took a hammer to the ends of them. Like, dude, those guys are heartbroken. I know they are.
Yeah, 100%. You know, the thing I think we're doing with kids now, we do have a responsibility as an industry to let them see that there's a lot of entry points into the industry. One of the things Dan Briscoe and I have talked about a lot, Dan's our president at BuildWitt, is, you know, we're looking at, all right, what's the entry point? How do we do this? And sometimes it's, well, let's educate them. Let's teach safety. Let's, you know, mitigate risks. Let's get them all the PPE. Let's do that. Like, let's give them all the rules and regulations and, you know, make sure that they're safe before we even get them out there. And it's like, you know, when you think about sports, if I had to memorize when I was a kid every single rule of every single game that I ever played before I ever got to play it, I probably wouldn't play the game.
Right.
And so something that we're working on with BuildWitt and the Dirt World is trying to think through how can we do it safely, but make sure that we're giving kids exposure to this great industry. And we want them to play all sports, asphalt, concrete, roads, bridges, sanitary stormwater, energy, renewables, whatever it is. Every kid's going to be attracted to a little something different. I know that we love asphalt. Awesome. If kids end up coming in that pathway, perfect. But I think we got to give them an opportunity to see how broad it is, understand that there can be field, there can be office. The big thing too is this is a $1 trillion industry.
Yeah.
It's a big industry. We need people in marketing. We need people in IT. We need people in HR. We need leaders. We need doers. It takes all of us, just like you were saying earlier. And so, you know, really excited about showing this industry in social, showing it to kids, giving them the exposure. There's a lot of activities now with middle school, high school, getting them in the sandbox, getting them in a simulator, getting that on a job site, doing the tours. There's no silver bullet, but the exposure that we need to give them is right now. Yep. And we're just getting started. There's a huge opportunity to really increase that moving forward.
You know, what you're talking about is branding, right? Like we talk about it within Blacktop Banner, which I'm sure you all do, right? Over at BuildWitt. We want to show what we do because we want other people to be interested in it. Now, what's crazy is the asphalt industry doesn't get a chance to brand itself or speak for itself, right? We are the flame bearers of that. And for me, that means that I have a responsibility, thankfully, for my God-given talents and my handsome, devilish good looks that you can catch on our YouTube version of this podcast, of making sure that this industry keeps going and that we do show it cool because we want people to be interested in that. There are guys I know for a fact. I never knew that I was a fantastic podcast host. I didn't know that at 18. I didn't know it at 20. I didn't know it at 25. I knew that mainly recently when Chris gave me a little trophy that said best podcast host in the world. But seriously, I didn't know that about myself. I know I'm a great seal coater. I don't think I'm the best seal coater in the world at this point, but I know that there's people who have spent their life on a shovel or on a roller that really would have been fantastic behind a camera and writing script for that company and been able to do it. But they didn't know that opportunity was available, right? They never seen it before. They never been exposed to that. And I think about that, right? We both have young kids, as we mentioned. And Eli might be fantastic at striping lines. And that might be what he wants to do. But he might only want to do that to 25 until he realizes that these video games he loves to play, he could create those video games and make simulators that are at the expos for the construction industry. And that's what he wants to do. He played one at an expo and conference last year, and he was like, that was totally awesome. Like, that's what I would love to do. And it's like, you can do that in this industry. Yeah. But if you do want to huck a shovel, you love shoveling asphalt, and you like the smell of money, like, there's space for you there. There's space for you if you 100%. Love numbers in our office, right? To do that and to make all of us click and make all of us who, you know, do huck the shovels and do loot the asphalt and do drive concrete truck or whatever, look fantastic because we don't have to keep up with the numbers. Your God-given talent and ability to do the accounting at that business makes all of us look fantastic. There's so much opportunity.
Totally. Yeah, 100%. Our leader, chief dirt nerd at BuildWitt is Aaron Witt, 28, social media influencer, leader of our company. But he has a saying that he says all the time that I just love, and it's, we have to meet them where they're at. We have to meet kids where they're at, and where they're at is on their smartphone. And so, we started talking about branding, and, to me, branding is what people remember when the marketing stops.
Correct.
And so by posting daily, consistently, telling those stories, that's connecting with customers, whether it's future employees or future people that you're doing business with, and just that consistency over time so that when you're not right in front of them, they're going to remember Blacktop Banner. They're going to remember who is Marvin Joels, what is your organization? How does that work? Et cetera. And so, as we're talking about, employer branding, one of the things that we think about a lot is, especially in this industry as a whole is, companies have got to create a place that people want to be.
Yes.
And so that means, you've got to be a great company. You've got to have a great mission, great vision, great communication, treating people well, loving them, supporting them, creating a good work environment, all of these things. And you can work really hard to create that. And if you don't let people know digitally, as you're trying to bring people into your company, if there's a disconnect between what you're saying and what you're showing, this next generation is just going to keep on moving until they find somebody that their values are aligned and that they see that digital connection.
Bingo. And I think that, when we talk about, I always go back to the asphalt industry because that's my home.
Perfect.
If I wasn't in it, I know, because I put myself in other people's shoes a lot, if I looked at it, I would see guys working all hours of the night, all day, sweating in the heat, dealing with being away from their families, all that stuff. No way does that look appealing, right? Mm-hmm. Compared to all the employment opportunities that exist in the world, no way does that look appealing. But if they knew what we knew, they might look at it a lot differently. Right, that might be where they do want to make their home. So, in transition, we have to go a little bit above and beyond what we probably would be able to do by just telling somebody that. And you all have made it a mission to create an event that not only gets people really excited, which I'm excited. When I seen the lineup, I was like, "Dang, this is cool. Okay, I want to be there." But also instills excitement in people to make them want to join it. So we're going to go to commercial real quick. But before we do that, I want you to, in one sentence, tell me, what is Dirt World Summit?
The Ariat Dirt World Summit is a place where we are uniting the industry to solve leadership and workforce development challenges.
Perfect. All right. When we come back, I want you to elaborate on that, Jason, because that was a long sentence with some big words, which some of us might get, but I know I don't. So I want you to elaborate on it. We'll be right back.
No problem.
Asphalt maintenance contractors. Winter's just around the corner, and we all know the harmful effects that colder months have on pavement. Here at Westcoat, we've tried a lot of products. We keep coming back to Craftco because of their crack and joint sealers are the best in the industry. No matter the climate that you're located in, Craftco has products that will fit your needs. Find the full product lineup at craftco.com. That's CRAFCO.com. Have you seen the smoothness and compaction that Dynapack's seismic technology has recently brought to the asphalt industry? It's incredible. And Dynapack's CC900G roller may just be the best roller on the market for driveway and parking lot paving contractors. It's even better than the little yellow one that you're used to seeing. But don't take my word for it. Give the CC900G a test run yourself by visiting Dynapack.com and finding a retailer near you.
Say goodbye to potholes and roadway damage without the need for large crews, heavy equipment, or toxic chemicals. Aquafalt is the only permanent repair material for asphalt and concrete that uses water. And installation is simple. Just pour, add water, and tamp. It's that easy. An Aquafault repair can be opened to traffic immediately and fully sealed within 24 hours. Plus, the product is backed by a 3-year warranty and is made in the USA. Visit aquafault.com. That's AQUAPHALT.com to learn more.
I'm incredibly proud of the Blacktop Banner Edition seal coating unit produced in partnership with KM International and available now in both the 550 and 700 gallon versions. Custom built on the same frame as their bulletproof hot boxes, I work closely with KM to design what I believe is the best seal coating unit on the market. A unit designed by a contractor for contractors. See the entire walkthrough of the unit on Blacktop Banner's YouTube channel or visit kminternational.com to learn more and place your order. Since its inception, Dubuque Asphalt Maintenance has branded our trucks with the 1-800-BLACKTOP number from the 800 Paving Network and consistently seen increases in leads and jobs completed. I know the 800 Pavement Network can do the same for your business. Visit 1-800-PAVEMENT.com and get set up with your custom phone number today. All right, we're back. And Jason, I asked you before the break about Dirt World in one sentence. What can we expect at Dirt World? Like, there's people that probably seen some of our posts, some of your posts, now that we're working together and whatnot in that regard. But maybe they don't quite get it, even though the video promos have been awesome. What can we expect at Dirt World? What makes it different?
100%. Yeah, let me start with this. The workforce challenge is real. By the year 2031, 40% of the industry is going to retire. We need 560,000 new people coming into the industry every year for the next decade. So the problem is real. So what are we going to do about it? We've been talking about it for years.
Yep.
And now we've got an opportunity to unite the industry, to bring everyone into one place. Instead of doing it in silos by industry and then going back as a company and working on it in a way where you're really competing, we need to work together to raise the tide, to bring more people into the industry. So we're, Jocko says every problem is a leadership problem. So like, let's unite the industry. Let's come together. Let's think through how we can create, an environment and a place that people want to be. Let's talk about that. And let's come up with some workforce development solutions for businesses, for each segment, so that they can go back on Monday morning and, start putting things into action. Everybody who comes to the Dirt World Summit, 3-day event, but everybody who comes, day one, there's a golf outing opportunity, the Dirt World Open, first ever, benefiting Dream on 3, which is going to be super cool. There are some workshops that you can choose to go to. Day 2 is a mini muster with Jocko Willink. And then day 3, we're going to really work through what we call a people life cycle of how to attract, hire, train, and retain great people. And we've got a speaker lineup with Marcus Sheridan, who wrote the book, They Ask You Answer. We've got Joe Hart, the CEO of Dale Carnegie. We've got Bob Chapman, who wrote the book, Everybody Matters. We've got Dave Turin. We've got Jason Schroeder. We've got some panel discussions where we're going to have some industry experts like Dan Garcia and Jackie Alf and Jorge Quesada. They're going to come on and talk about what they're doing, in that space. And then everybody's going home with a toolkit that's going to be, here's how to debrief the event. Here's, how to put things into play so that on Monday you're going back as a team and you're talking about what are we going to do as an organization to help solve this problem, to put it into action. And that's what we're most excited about. For years, many people go to conferences and this is what happens. I'll say this real quickly. A lot of leaders go to a conference. They don't tell anybody they're going. They go to the conference and then they come back and they don't tell anybody anything. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is they want to be able to go next year. It's usually in some place nice. It's usually someplace warm. It's fun. There's a boondoggle. You get to go out for nice dinner, nice drinks, et cetera. And it's like, man, I'm going to go and enjoy this.
Yeah.
This is different. We want everybody to know that they're going. We want them to come as a team. It's a summit, not a conference, where they can come and really figure things out. And then on Monday morning, they go back and they get to work and figuring out how they can solve the problem.
Two things. do I need to bring my clubs or are there rentals? And then you mentioned a lot of authors and whatnot in that regard, and a stellar lineup, right? With Jocko and Dave Turin, etc. I want you to tell us what, obviously you have a large book display behind you. What are 3 books that you think that either are your favorites or that maybe we should prep with going into this to get us in the right mindset?
Yeah, for sure. One, sure, bring your own clubs if you want to. They do have some rentals, but it's first come, first serve. And then 3, don't forget, you could always use ship sticks.
Perfect.
So, yeah, all good. In terms of books, I mean, obviously a lot of authors are speaking, so I'm going to stick to kind of what's there.
Yep.
Jocko has his book, Extreme Ownership. It's absolutely incredible. Joe Hart has a new book out called Take Command. One of our sponsors that's coming is EOS, and they're actually going to be giving the book away traction for everybody. Wow. So, we operate on EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System, with Visionary Integrator, the Level 10 meeting, L10 meeting, the VTO, et cetera. So you can come and learn about that, but obviously another great book. Bob Chapman, great leader of Chapman & Co. and the Barry Waymiller companies, wrote the book Everybody Matters. And, to me, they're all great books, but the question is, it's one thing to read a book. It's another to figure out how you're going to put what you're learning into practice. And so that to me is what's exciting is you can not only read it, but you can go and listen to these authors at the summit talk about, how to put this into action, and then actually go and work with your teams on what you're going to do on Monday morning to make things happen.
You mentioned earlier, hey, we want you to come, but we also want your team to come. I had written down here who we see there, right? But you covered that in the first one. But I still think that's a great question because not necessarily on stage, but who will we see in the crowd? Who's sitting next to us, right, when we're in the audience and whatnot? Who should attend? Who should attend Dirt World Summit?
Yeah, great question. I will say this quickly, shameless plug, dirtworld.com. I know we're going to cover that later, but there is a who's attending tab at the top, who's sponsoring. So we've got over 300 people that are signed up already. Super excited about that. But it's everybody from what we call the dirt world. And when we say dirt world, that means all things infrastructure construction. So, asphalt, we've got Dynapack, we've got Aztec, we've got, contractors like Scotty's and Jurgensen. So, I mean, it's, there's a ton of contractors and material suppliers that are coming. It's the mining industry. It's, it's just a plethora of everything from sanitary storm and water to finished product, all things horizontal construction, infrastructure, that people are coming. But remember, it's a leadership and workforce development summit. And that's really where the focus is. So it's going to be contractor members, supplier members, it's going to be presidents, vice presidents, operational leaders, small companies, big companies, OEMs, material suppliers, it's everything in between that's going to be there.
Is that why we should attend? Because of the leadership aspect of it? Should we attend because there may be problems unforeseen in our business that we don't know, right? Every problem is a leadership problem. Is that why? Or what is it?
Yeah, 100%. Look, the problem is real. I started out, given the stats and the numbers. Most organizations are struggling. If you're not, the industry is. And we have to attract this next generation. And, to me, it starts with you. You got to look in the mirror and figure out, what am I doing, to be the best leader, to make this a place that people want to be, to make our company great. But then what am I doing beyond that for the industry? And to me, that's what this is all about, is we have a responsibility and an opportunity to unite the industry together to come and not only understand the problem, but let's talk about the solutions, and then let's go back and put them into play moving forward to solve the industry's biggest challenge.
Do you expect that that's what we'll leave with when we attend there? That kind of spark, if we can put it
Yeah, I
that
think
way.
there's a rally cry around it a little bit, but I think it really what it is I think people will be, again, I'm guessing on what I think is going to happen, but I think people are going to be motivated to be a better human, to be a better
Cool.
leader, to be a better, team member, right?
Yeah.
To be a better father, to be a better, leader within your organization. I think that you're going to hear some pretty profound things from these speakers. And then you're going to be able to benchmark with other leaders. You're going to be, the
Yeah.
peer grouping that happens there. It's like, hey, what do you got going on? Hey, North Carolina to Florida to Texas, people are coming from all over. And so, you're going to be able to really benchmark from some peers and figure out what's working for you, what's not working for you. What have you tried? What's, what are you guys focusing on in 2024?
Correct.
And I think that's going to be, some of the additional value is not only the learning, but the peer grouping and the benchmarking, and then, game planning for what you're going to do for the next year's season.
Sometimes, man, attending events like this creates a resource that you didn't expect, right? And that is with your peer group and the networking that takes place. One thing that I love about these, obviously, got some nice tan skin, some tattoos, bald head, glasses. I don't necessarily look like everybody. And I like that aspect of it because I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people that don't look like me there. And there will be people that do. But we all are encountering these same issues. We live in the same world, in the same large industry, right? That is the dirt world. And sometimes a little piece of information can make a world of difference. And if it's not on the stage, sometimes it's who you're sitting next to, right? And it may not be business strategy. It could be life strategy or just some insight that's there. That's what gets me excited about Dirt World is the fact that it's outside of what I have normally attended and been part of. And I know that in order for me to overcome things I haven't seen before, more than likely I have to get insight from places and people that I haven't seen before. That's very exciting to me about Dirt World.
Yeah, I think something I would just say to that too is some of our sponsors that are coming in and some of the people that are attending. One of the things that we're really trying to work on is it's almost like this wheel of life. So you've got, mental health,
Correct.
physical health, spiritual health, relationships, work, financial. There's, these are humans and humans are dealing with a lot of things and the world is tough out there. And
yes,
what I found, I'll just for myself is, as, an all in or none at all type person, like I can be winning at work sometimes and losing with my relationships at home, or I can be winning financially and losing in my spiritual battle. So trying to bring a group of people together that are humans that are dealing with the wheel of life, that are trying to figure it all out.
Yep.
We've got some great companies that are coming and great people that are, that have been on this walk in the construction industry. And there's a chance for us to mentor and love and support and transparently share stories about where you are. And if we show up with our genuine, authentic self and talk about where we really are, you're probably going to get some profound wisdom that comes at you that says, man, you ought to consider this, or let me mentor you, or let me help you. If you come and pretend like you got all your shit to figure it out and together and that you're perfect and everything's great, you're going to come, you're going to leave, and it's going to be good and gone. Yep. However, if you come as your genuine, authentic self with a learn and grow mindset where you're asking questions, you're digging in, you're talking about challenges, you're probably going to walk away from this thing just a wealth of knowledge and relationships that are going to go forever.
Yeah, that what makes me think of that, right, is just the opportunity that exists there, right? You can go to the website, right, dirtworld.com. You can check out the list of everybody there and everything that's going on. But if you come the way that you described, right, open-minded, open-hearted, and ready to receive, chances are you could take those lists and you yourself can write down underneath there, all the things that you got too as well. And it's stuff that you don't see at the surface level. And for me, that's the most exciting part about this, right? It's just an amazing opportunity to be able to do that. We're going to have a lot of people all together that want to improve, right? No matter what area or aspect that it's in, you're there to improve. And just that general atmosphere at Dirt World is going to be amazing. If you could give somebody one piece of advice, I know that's a lot because you seem like you have a great wealth of knowledge up there in that dome, my friend. What would that be? What would one piece of advice be? Would it be to let the guard down and not try to puff your chest up? I mean, what would it be, especially going into Dirt World?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, having a learn and grow mindset versus protect and defend is something that people should challenge themselves with. The way that we've always done it is a problem in our industry.
Correct.
There's some tried and true ways. I'm all for those things, right? Like I get it. And some of those things that really work well, like we should continue to maintain and protect and you know, move forward. But if you show up closed-minded, you're probably not going to meet new people. You're probably not going to learn anything new. You're going to go back to the same old ways that you've been doing things. It's like we can learn about a new diet, but if we don't put it into practice, so come with an open mind and then go back and try it.
Right.
Go back and talk to your teams about it. Like we know that it's through consistent behavior is when you really start to see a change or evolution, right? It's like, oh, I came back, I tried it for a week and it didn't work. Try it for a year and then let me know. Yeah. You know, like to me, like that's where it's at. It's like, you've got to make a commitment that you're all in on learning and growing, trying new things, and don't do it alone. Like that's the thing that I really want people to know is like, if you really share with your teams, with your spouses, with your friends, with your network, with your group, your peer group, your leaders, whatever, like if you start to talk about who you are, what you want to become, where you're going, what's going on, that sense of accountability starts to creep in and things start happening, right? Like good things start to move when you create that team, that network. And so I would just really encourage people to come back and make a commitment by verbalizing it and then putting it into action moving forward.
Cool, man. Yeah, I think that's the best piece of advice you could have given somebody. You know, I don't look like it anymore, but I really like to eat, right? Like my family grew up around that. Our industry does that, right, as well, right? We all try to eat together sometimes and do whatever. If you go to a buffet and you only want pizza and you only eat pepperoni pizza and your mindset is, that's all I do. And then you walk away and you're like, yeah, it wasn't any good because that one slice of pepperoni pizza wasn't good. But there was all these other choices and all these other things that you could have tried and could have done that everybody else around you was like, that place was amazing, right? It's because you've closed your mind in on that and you don't open yourself up to opportunity to experience something amazing. So I really think that's a fantastic piece of advice, especially going into Dirt World, as for a lot of us, it will be our first venture in there. Give us some info on Dirt World in closing, where we can check some stuff out. And I know we mentioned the website a couple times, but let us know because I did see some social media tags and whatnot as well.
Yeah, for sure. So dirtworld.com, super easy way to sign up, whole website, for it. Obviously, if you're a single ticket that you're purchasing, you can use the BB10 code, which will give you 10% off. If you're coming as a group, there's discounts, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, I think it is, and then, or 6 to 9, and then 10 and more. So, there's a group discount between now and August 31st, which I'm not sure when this is airing. Everybody gets a free pair of Ariat boots. So sign up quickly. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, it's really easy. Dirtworld.com, sign up, and we definitely hope to see everybody there. You can follow us on social. There's Dirt World Summit on LinkedIn, Instagram. There's all kinds of, ways to find us on social where you can follow along. We'll be promoting everything that's going on. And we hope to see you there.
Where can we find Jason Richmond on social media?
Yeah, so I'm really on two platforms, LinkedIn and Instagram. I'm Jason B. Richmond on Instagram, and I'm Jason Richmond on LinkedIn. So come follow me, and hope you like the content.
Yeah, I think they will. I think Jason Richmond is worth a follow on LinkedIn for sure. We get a good mix there, and it's always great to have your insight. As Jason said, we do have a code for 10% off for listeners of Blacktop Banter and followers of Blacktop Banter, and that code is BB10, not BEE, just the letters, BB10, and that'll get you 10% at dirtworld.com. Jason, thank you so much, man, for the insight and for letting us dive into what you guys have going on over there. Very exciting. We're super thankful to be part of it over here at Blacktop Banter. And I think the industry will thank us and thank you guys as well for bringing this to the table. It's going to solve some issues, and we're excited about that.
100%. A pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on.
Hey, no worries. So for us here in the studio at Blacktop Banter and for Jason Richmond representing BuildWitt and Dirt World Summit, believe it or not, Jason and I both speak asphalt. Peace.
Hey there, Blacktop Banner fans. This is Hayden. I am the co-founder of Spot On Site. We're asphalt contractors ourselves. We run an asphalt paving company based out of Denver, Colorado. We know this is a game-changing app that will help you measure and mark your locations in your parking lots, document using time-stamped photos, videos, and comments, and send professional-looking reports to your customers. We have a free 14-day trial on spotonsiteapp.com.
Hey, Jessica Lombardo with Pavex, the Pavement Experience, and I want to invite you all to join us in San Antonio for the first ever event. It will be held January 30th through February 1st at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. We are going to have a live equipment demonstration over 2 days, 60 hours of educational programming, and a full trade show floor with over 75 manufacturers of equipment in the paving and pavement maintenance space. So please join us there, and to learn more and get yourself registered, visit www.pavexshow.com.
When it comes to asphalt tools and supplies, Liberty Supply has darn near everything you need. I actually think the owner, Sam, sleeps on a mountain of spray tips in their warehouse alongside the pour pots, hot pots, steel brooms, chalk lines, flagging tape, and hundreds of other items. If you call Sam today at 800-397-9907 or visit libertysupply.biz, they'll get you set up with everything you need. For custom and multi-piece stencils, I always turn to Stencil Plus. They've supplied every stencil we use, and these things last a long time. Actually, I should probably call Jeff over at Stencil Plus and just say hi, because it's been a long time since I've had to place an order. Anyway, if you want long-lasting, high-quality stencils, head over to stencilplus.com and save 10% by using code BB10 during checkout.